They said that they believed that people involved were not students and could be dangerous to the people and on campus, and because they are not affiliated with the campus, are breaking the law. And they listed numerous charges that they were going to attempt to charge them with if they were there. They appealed to the parents of the students, actually asking them to call their students and talk to the students who are on the campus, warning that they could be criminally charged, no longer just with trespassing, but with breaking and entering and other charges like that. This is what they say. They wanted to get the students out of the way. But when you talk to people on the sidelines here, I ran into some teachers who were huddled around a radio listening to a live broadcast from students inside the campus. And the teachers, the professors, were horrified that the students that the administration had called the police in. They are not buying that. They say these are our students. Those are the students they're going after. So they were very concerned and came out specifically to bear witness to what's happening here, along with a lot of young people that we see here. But also, it's interesting, a lot of people are really afraid to talk to us. You notice a lot of young people and the demonstrators are wearing masks. We don't know how many are students. There's a lot of student housing around here, and even people who go to school at Columbia aren't being allowed back on the campus right now because of the lockdown situation. And the students who are on campus were advised to stay in their dormitories and not come out. In the run-up to this, clearly the university was prepping everyone for this mass takeover by the police.
Kristen, do stay with us as we update our viewers who might just be joining us on what's been happening, these really important developments at Columbia University in New York. This is Al Jazeera, and you are watching live pictures from Columbia University, where in the past 45 minutes, we have seen police officers moving into, climbing up, and entering through a window at the historic Hamilton Hall in Columbia University. That's where a group of students, we don't know how many exactly, but a group of students barricaded themselves inside Hamilton Hall on Monday evening to continue to protest against Israel's war on Gaza. They said that they had renamed Hamilton Hall Hind Hall after the 6-year-old Palestinian girl in Gaza who was killed by Israeli forces while on the phone with emergency paramedics, begging them to come and save her, and whose phone call went viral around the world. There is a heavy police presence at Columbia University after university authorities called police saying that they were agitators who had infiltrated this protest. Let's bring our correspondent Kristen Salumi back in. She is one of 2 correspondents that we have outside Columbia University at different points outside the university, covering this ongoing situation for us. And Kristen, you know, you were telling us about the university statement saying that there are agitators, and our correspondent Teresa Boyle was telling earlier that, you know, she's been speaking to many protesters over the course of days of reporting, as you have. For you, it's been weeks now covering these protests in Columbia, and they say, you know, that these claims of infiltrators is simply not true. And what's been really interesting, not just at Columbia, but other universities across America, is that students themselves are being charged, students and professors themselves are being charged with trespassing, which they say is an absolutely bizarre charge. Trespassing somewhere where you go or you work.
Yeah, that's right. And Columbia University, of course, has this long history of student demonstrations in the very same hall where the students are being arrested, where they took over the building in 1968. Demonstrators did the same thing there. So they see this as continuing a tradition, and happened again with the apartheid in South Africa. There were demonstrations at the same spot. So, and Columbia University has a law school. It's the home to the night
Hey, family. What's going on? Come on in the room. Come on in the room. I'm going to put this over to the side and still keep going because this is a very, very, very interesting. Here we go with the commercials. Okay, here we go. So I want to kind of keep eyes on this because I want to see what's going to transpire here. This is very interesting. That it's getting to this point. It really is, and this just isn't happening here in New York. And if anybody's wondering, I have not been in that area. That area is kind of it's a little hard to get to, and if you don't have any type of press, I think if you don't have a press thing on you, you can get arrested quickly out there right now. So I'm kind of staying clear there that area right now, but we can talk about it here. I don't need to physically be there. But yeah, plus I was on a call today with some family members. But y'all, I kid y'all not, this is gonna get real interesting because I'm wondering how this is about to turn. You see that the police are standing there, and I give y'all a closer view of it. You see the police, they're standing there right now. It doesn't seem like it has escalated. But what I have been hearing that some of the escalations that they've been seeing due to it was allegedly the stuff that's been going on far as the riots and all that, they some people are saying that these are agitators that are in this pro Palestine protest, which I'm not shocked. And that some of these individuals, I think they're ultimately they think that these are outside of the realm of the students, because you know the ultimate goal is to make the pro Palestine protesters seem like they are agent provocateurs. Yep, exactly that. That's what they're saying. So I'm kind of watching it to see if this is going to escalate, because that's all it takes is one incident and it's going to be on from there. Um, so I wish it was a way to make this smaller, because I want to keep eyes on it. But yeah, this is very interesting. This is not only happening. Um, it's not only happening in New York. It's happening in Austin. You have a situation where Morehouse students are protesting because Biden's supposed to be coming out there speaking. You got an incident where Biden was supposed to speak somewhere and there was a protest there because people are. So I believe that I believe they're going to be I really believe it's going to be a widespread. Um, there we go. They arresting them. Let's look and see what's going on.
Beach.
Yeah.
People are saying, why can't we talk about this? Why can't we use our voices to protest? And that's what we've been seeing happening.
And Kristen, you know, to your point about apartheid, our correspondent Rob McBride, who's been covering the protests at the University of California, Los Angeles, he interviewed a history professor a few hours ago live in one of our bulletins, and he was talking about how in all of his years of being part of protests in America, including against apartheid, he hasn't seen something like this. So that was really interesting. You've covered the protests in America since the war on Gaza began, and especially the ones at universities. Kristen, just lastly, how would you characterize what you're seeing tonight at Columbia in the context of what's been happening over the last few weeks?
You know, it's a great question because the demonstrations in New York started from not long after October 7th. There has actually been weekly, in some cases, many days a week, there have been protests where people have come to the streets, but they weren't getting covered. They weren't getting a lot of attention unless they were a big one where they shut down Grand Central and people were arrested there. Or they shut down the Brooklyn Bridge. When those things would happen, they would get some attention, they would get some coverage. But people were coming out almost daily. As the longer the war has continued, the more frequent those demonstrations became. But again, the media sort of lost interest. It wasn't until the college students got involved that that they started paying attention again. So while people can be critical of the students and their methods. And I've heard that actually from some of the Jewish students I spoke to here at Columbia, actually had some sympathy for the plight of Gazans in this conflict, but they felt that the students were going about it wrong, or they didn't like the chant of Intifada or from the river to the sea because they felt like it was directed at them and it was
Right.
it was anti-Semitic in nature.
Yeah, even though the from the river to the
but
sea is actually
until
from Benjamin
things started
Netanyahu's
happening
own
here, it wasn't
Likud party.
getting
Did she say, wait a minute, hold on.
right. They're different sides of this debate see it differently, but here
You see, she called her in there. She said, you know, they're chanting, the protesters are saying from the river to the sea, and the woman corrected her and said, no, that came from Benjamin Netanyahu. She just corrected her. So let's keep it going, y'all.
in some circles, if you say Intifada, if you say from the river to the sea, that is seen as anti-Zionist, and not more than anti-Zionist. Yeah. It's anti-Semitic by some people here. And I've seen some really great debates on the sidelines here of people debating that.
Yeah.
But clearly that got attention and got the media back.
Kristen,
back to covering the story when the college campuses got involved.
Yeah, Kristen, thank you so much for that. For now, that's Kristen Salumi joining us live from Columbia University in New York. We're going to go back to our other correspondent who's live at a different location at Columbia. Teresa Bo is joining us. And Teresa, if you can just, bring us up to date with what's been happening there over the past hour. And, we're watching the live shot of that window of the historic Hamilton Hall with police inside. Students have barricaded themselves inside, and we don't know what's happening there.
We talked over this.
Wix is your platform to perform on.
All right, let's go back and talk to them.
Well, certainly. We're right here across from where the window where at least 50 police officers went inside Hamilton Hall. It's not clear what is happening there right now, but student protesters have been outside, in a way protecting those who are inside, who have barricaded themselves inside Hamilton Hall. They renamed that hall after a Palestinian girl, the 6-year-old Palestinian girl that was killed by the military. And then just about an hour ago, we started seeing massive police presence. They started coming towards where we are from the northern side of the avenue and from the southern part of the avenue. And then just dozens and dozens of police officers came here. Let me bring you in, and we're going to talk to one of the students that has been outside showing support for those who are inside. And he does not want his name disclosed, but he's been here all day. He's been following what's been happening with the students all day. So what can you tell us is happening inside? What have you heard from your classmates, your other students who are inside?
Right, so like you said, a lot of the students went in to Hamilton Hall yesterday, deoccupied and reoccupied it as Hinge Hall. They were there all day long. All of us were hoping that the administration would behave like adults and negotiate in good faith with the students and find a compromise, find a way forward to get these students safely back to their classes where they belong. But a lot of us were very disappointed, obviously, and shocked to see the police return to our campus, an American institution where freedom of speech and freedom of expression are supposed to be prized. Earlier today, via social networks, we were all told that they expected the police to come. So we came out here to demonstrate our support for me personally, for the American values that I believe in. And when we arrived, there were students kind of massing around the gates behind me, you see. Eventually, the police arrived and started pushing people back. About 40 or 50 students went arm in arm and tried to block the gate. The police then came. Some of them behaved like professionals. Others were pushing and shoving and escalating the situation. They took a lot of those students away in zip ties. And then eventually they pushed the rest of us out of the way so they could bring in the vehicle that you see to my right. That vehicle moved forward to where it is now. They used the ladder system. They probably could use a normal ladder, but decided instead to use that vehicle to breach the window into Hamilton Hall or Hind Hall. And from there, they moved in. From what we're told from inside, there are reports that they used tear gas in an enclosed space which doesn't seem tactically sound or responsible when dealing with unarmed student protesters.
Have you heard from inside what is happening inside? Because we cannot see anything from here, from where we are right now. But maybe you are in touch with other students inside. Do you know what is going on?
Right. So from what we heard from inside, there were students who were knocked on. There was at least one student who was knocked unconscious by the police. Again, that's the reporting that we're getting from inside, and there was tear gas deployed. A lot of the students apparently are being brought out in zip ties via buses to the south of the campus. But it sounds like the students were sitting there. They were probably expecting to be arrested and were willing to be arrested for what they believe in, which is something that, again, we should applaud here in America. That's true courage in there, those students who decided they wanted to stand for what they believed in, and all these police officers with all their equipment knocking down the door to take them away.
One of the things that the New York Police Department is saying is that the students inside were infiltrated by outsiders, that this is something extremely dangerous.
This is interesting.
Is this true? I mean, is this something that has happened? Is just students in there? What can you tell us about who is inside?
A month ago, those students were sitting in classes like the rest of us. The people who are in there right now, to the best of my knowledge, are all students who decided that they wanted to take a stand and actually demonstrate leadership for the rest of the country and for students around the world. I haven't heard of any infiltration into the camps. The only thing that happened was sometimes there would be some outside people who would come and try to, change the narrative. Like there's a Proud Boy that came in, other people trying to spread a different narrative. But the students were very responsible and they behaved like very professionally in de-escalating those situations and refocusing the narrative on Gaza as they were attempting to. Any of these narratives that are trying to spread fear about who the students are, I recommend you speak to one of the students if you get a chance, the Palestinian students or the Jewish students who were arrested last week. The Jewish students are probably being arrested right now. And you can hear from them what kind of motivation, what kind of movement they are, which is peaceful. And there was no infiltration, from my understanding, of any kind of outside organization.
You as a student, you're being part of this movement, of these protests to shed light of what is happening in Gaza, to the war on Gaza, to the killing in Gaza. What would you like to say to the American public? What would you like to say to American politicians? What would you like to tell President Biden about what is happening here right now?
Right. I want to start by saying I don't want to distract attention away from Gaza, which is the real focus of all these students here. But personally, as a student, as an American, I'm horrified by the decision-making process here. This isn't Moscow. This isn't Tehran. This is New York City. We should be able to protest peaceably in order to talk to people about what we have, what the issues we have with what's going on our campus around the world, without fear of our campus being militarized by police and occupied and being pushed away from our classes for no real reason. The students there, they demonstrated incredible courage and they motivated people around the country to do the same. And I was hoping that the administration here would follow their lead and do something constructive. Unfortunately, they started bringing cops last week. The rest of the country followed their lead, brought in cops. They were negotiating constructively earlier in the week and gave up on that. I was hoping they would move back to the negotiating table, but instead they decided to do this. So for everyone that grew up in America, in elementary school, middle school, and learned about American values and history of the American Revolution, or any other thing that you prize as American, our values, I would say, hopefully in the future, this doesn't happen again. Hopefully remember who we are, and we stand up for people who want to protest peacefully in order to address something they see going on in the world.
Thank you very much. So we remain here, right outside of Columbia University, just right in front of the door where around 50 police officers enter Hamilton Hall. It's not clear what went on there. We just heard some of the information that students outside are getting from what is happening inside. But we are remaining here, monitoring the situation, seeing the dozens and dozens of police officers that have showed up here, watching how at least 50 of them entered through that window, probably to evict the students that are currently inside. Students have been facing the risks of suspension, of expulsion. Now they're facing arrest. So we're going to have to see what happens next, but we'll be here and we'll keep you updated with the latest of what's going on here outside Columbia University.
Yeah, no doubt, Teresa. Thank
I know it's wrong, but it feels so...
Shake a leg. The brainstorm's kicking off in the boardroom.
No, it's in Miro. In Miro, you can really bring your ideas to life with videos, images, stickies, and sick diagram tools. And check this out. Another cool trick is privacy.
Y'all want me to find another live news report? Hit 1 for yes. 2 for no. Why don't y'all just say yes or no? I'm sorry. Y'all want me to find another one? I got time, Saints. I got time. I ain't live all night though, but y'all, this is interesting. This is real interesting. Y'all getting something to snack on because I have not eaten today. Well, eating at dinner. Okay, let me find some more. Hold on, let me find something. Wait a minute, they even switched off what's going on live. Usually they do that when something went down. Hold on, let me see.
Guys, he's drunk, guys. He's drunk. Chris Miller. He's drunk. Don't even listen to him, guys. Where's your mother right now?
Why is counterterrorism bad? Why is counterterrorism bad? I can't protect people. The people are here and you are there. Why is that? Why is counterterrorism keeping the people penned up like this? Are we terrorists? Are we all terrorists? Nothing to say, huh? Okay. I love this is America. A good job recruitment. If you want to work in China for the police there, I think they'll like you. Maybe Russia. You just came here, like some kids are protesting, you beat the shit out of them, you put them in the hospital, you try to silence them for opposing genocide, you bring zip ties for American citizens, you bring counterterrorism for like peaceful protesters. What's wrong with you? You're asleep at night. It's not my constitution you're defending. You're defending someone else's constitution.
Oh, no. Everything is okay. Everything is wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah, that's my dream. That's my dream.
I'm leaving.
That's me. I used to be famous young. You are famous. You've been here a long time. And did you see them storming?
Yeah.
Y'all, I just got a strange feeling. This ain't it. I got a strange feeling something to be real crazy to pop off. And they won't be able to get any control. They ain't gonna be able to get any control. And if it happens, they're gonna lock everybody down in this city, in this house, in their houses. And one thing about New York is, I've noticed, it would be hard for them to make people go into martial law or go in the house out here. It would be hard because these people have no chill. It can really turn. It can turn left quick. It can turn left real quick. It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out because I don't think it's hit the pinnacle point. I don't think it's hit that point yet. That point where you just like, the climactic point of this situation. No, I think this is just the beginning, and I think it's gonna get even more interesting as we proceed into the summer. Because then you got people who can be able to, you know, do this all day because they're not in school. You know, they'll be able to take it to their, you know, they'll still be able to come together. And I don't think this is gonna stop here. I think it's gonna keep going. No, Rio, lay down. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah, Rio is blanketing foot outside. He's here. Yeah, rest yourself. But yeah, I think it's only finna get interesting from here. I think it's going to get interesting from here. What? Let me see what everybody's saying. I heard there are agitators probably paid to turn the heat up on this protest. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. If you say, hey, light warrior, this reminds me of how Yah in the scriptures allows conflict and confusion among the nations that oppose his people or him after Yah has warned those nations. Yet there's no 400-year prophecy. That makes sense. Last I heard on Twitter, police are going into Columbia with cranes. Actually, let me find another video. Hold on. I keep it right here. I won't change. Let me see what's going on.
I love this is America. It's not the same thing to me. Get on the side. That's kind of terrible. Sorry. You beat up a recruiter. You got a whole bunch of witnesses off the border. What about him, John? What are you doing? Where are your notes?
Stop giving this paid protester any fucking attention. He's a loser. Stop giving him any attention.
Right. I see you're a real journalist. You're taking notes. You're recording.
Like a fucking costume. Stop giving him attention.
Really got some anger. Real anger issues, right.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. That's all I have to say. Nice thing about these protests is most of the students are from Ivy League universities. This makes it more difficult to paint those protesters as thugs and terrorists. Correct. The thing is this: they can't sling those kids down on the ground and jump on them and beat them up because most of those kids are they got some parents that now if it would have been our children, if this would have been, let's say, Grambling or Howard or FAMU or Tennessee State or Texas A&M or Southern University, any of those HBCUs, it would have been another story. Oh, it would have been another story. It would have been, they would have gone from college students to thugs in a matter of seconds. Oh, they wouldn't have wasted any time at all to drag them in the streets. But see, what's so funny is they're feeling, those kids and their parents are feeling what we feel every day. Because now it shows you who's in charge. We've been feeling it for this long. We just sit here like, okay, they about to, in just a second, they about to flip out in just a second. And it's going to get ugly quickly. Quickly. Let's see what else is going on. Fair use, fair use. I'm just going in and out so we can keep talking, y'all. I'm just watching this. I'm just looking at this because I'm wondering, where this is about to go. They're peaceful right now, but that's all it takes. I'm sitting here like, man, that's all it takes is one person. Because if y'all NYPD play, they stay ready for whatever. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be real interesting. I'll keep playing it. So something happened at UCLA where they had clashes. I'm gonna share that one. Why did I do that? I should have just said switch share. This is on you. This happened at UCLA today. So let's see. Let's play this.
Security tightening on college campuses as pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli protesters angrily face off over the war in Gaza.
Confrontations are increasingly tense and sometimes violent.
Stop killing children! Stop killing children!
Protests like these are getting wide attention across the country and on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are working on a bill to curb anti-Semitism.
KTLA Sarah Welch joins us live from UCLA with today's developments. Sarah.
Sharon, Micah, some new developments tonight. Let me step out. You can see some of the increased police security here on the campus this evening. There's also word that a letter is circulating within the encampment tonight from UCLA administration declaring the encampment unlawful and that negotiations with these demonstrators could begin as early as noontime tomorrow. Now, we reached out to UCLA for a comment on that. We're awaiting a response. Meantime, the chancellor also put out a statement about an hour ago talking about the increased security and how the university has now engaged law enforcement to investigate recent acts of violence here on campus. Meantime, Congress also threatening funding to public institutions that can't keep students safe.
As Republican leaders, we have a clear message for mealy-mouthed, spineless college leaders. Congress will not tolerate your dereliction of duty to your Jewish students.
House Republicans putting schools like UCLA on notice in the wake of the violence and protests on college campuses. Keep all students safe or risk losing billions of dollars in taxpayer funding.
Of course, the use of the power of the purse. We need accountability for those who cannot maintain order.
Overnight at UCLA, officers in riot gear separated about 60 counter-protesters who tried to get through the pro-Palestinian barricade on Dixon Plaza near the Powell Library. This morning, protesters chanted, "Let him go," as a demonstrator was arrested for climbing the scaffolding with a Palestinian flag flying on it. Vandals also sprayed graffiti on the doors of Royce Hall.
You cannot put graffiti saying Intifada on Royce Hall. Most students don't even know what that means. Baby killers, Israel, Satan, that just goes too far.
This morning, a man on crutches, not affiliated with the protest, was trying to access a public walkway outside the pro-Palestinian encampment and was tackled by UCLA security.
I told them I was disabled. They said that I was trying to use this as a weapon. It was on the ground behind me. It was insane.
There was also a report of demonstrators blocking a student from getting to class. The university called this kind of behavior abhorrent, saying actions like this could lead to severe disciplinary action, including suspension or expulsion.
I'm not a Jewish student myself, but I definitely I'm more careful on campus. Walking around now at midnight is not wise because, well, what if they attack you?
UCLA has increased security following the overnight scuffle. Students who support free speech told us restricting the area around Royce Quad is unfair to everyone on campus.
All students, regardless of their backgrounds, have entitlements to any part of the campus as long as they pay tuition.
And again, you can see Sky 5 overhead. We're also hearing that students received notice from the school that Royce Hall will now be closed through Friday and the library will be closed through Monday, and that non-academic staff members who work there are being asked to work remotely. So again, this situation continues to evolve out here. We spoke to one man who didn't want to go on camera, who says he just can't believe that people can come in and take over a public space with no repercussions. We'll be following this. For now, back to you in Hollywood.
Sarah, thank you. And over on the USC campus today, concern over a swastika which was drawn on campus. The president of USC, Carol Fultz, saying just a short time ago that swastika was clearly drawn to incite more anger and that she condemns any form of hate speech. In the meantime, USC's president also said that she had a second meeting with organizers of the pro-Palestinian campus demonstrations today. But in a statement a short time ago, she says the protesters seem more interested in having her issue a political statement supporting their views than coming up with a practical solution.
This is the scene at UC Irvine. Students staying in an encampment to call on the university to cut financial ties with Israel. They're also trying to raise awareness of the deaths of Palestinians in Gaza. The students say they'll stay at the encampment until their demands are met. In a statement, a school spokesperson says the university
I'm moving on to the
respects
next
the rights
report.
of any
Just
students
wait.
to
There's
engage
so
in
much
free
going on.
speech and
So much
expression,
going on.
including lawful protest.
So much going on. So this is the next.
Welcome to the News Hour. Protests took a dramatic turn at Columbia University.
So, have y'all heard? Share this tab instead. Do y'all have this? All right, let's get it cracking. So there's another interesting piece to this story. And now I'm just playing all this and then we can talk after the fact. So here we go. Oh. Y'all here now? Can y'all hear now? Can y'all hear me? That's weird. I have not been able to not hear sound. I wonder if they. Oh, y'all can hear now? Y'all can hear me? Okay, let me play it again. Stop sharing. Can y'all hear this? What about now? Can y'all hear this video? Y'all can hear the video? Wow. Let me stop sharing. Wow. Hold on. Let me check and see that I get an email from YouTube. They gonna see. This is why TikTok is winning. They mad because TikTok winning. This is why TikTok is winning. Hold on. Make sure I ain't got no message. Okay, I ain't got no email from them. Let me see. Hold on. Share. Okay. Let me see. Let's try this. Can y'all hear this?
Raf, I do want to ask you about one other piece of news we've got here. NBC News learning that Israel is concerned that the International Criminal Court could soon issue an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, as well as other senior Israeli officials. What is the background on this? What are you hearing?
Right. So an Israeli official tells me this morning that Israel is concerned those arrest warrants could come potentially as early as this week. Prime Minister Netanyahu, the defense minister, potentially.
Raf, I do want to ask you about one other piece of news we've got here. NBC News learning that Israel is concerned that the International Criminal Court could soon issue an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, as well as other senior Israeli officials. What is the background on this? What are you hearing?
Right. So an Israeli official tells me this morning that Israel is concerned those arrest warrants could come potentially as early as this week. Prime Minister Netanyahu, the defense minister, potentially senior Israeli officials. We asked the International Criminal Court about this. They said that they would not comment on any potential future arrest warrants, but they have confirmed that they have opened up an investigation into the situation in Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories. This Israeli official tells me that Israel is working through diplomatic channels to try to make sure that those warrants are not issued. It is not clear at this point whether the court also intends to issue warrants for the arrests of senior Hamas leaders, which is a possibility. Now, this would not lead to the immediate arrest of Netanyahu and others, but it could make it potentially quite difficult for the Israeli prime minister to travel to Europe, to travel to other countries that are signatories to the International Criminal Court, because in theory, those countries could find that they have an obligation to arrest the prime minister. This would put Prime Minister Netanyahu in the same category as Vladimir Putin, who had an arrest warrant issued against him for alleged war crimes committed in Ukraine. We should say, Savannah, the International Criminal Court is separate from the International Court of Justice, which is right now hearing a case on whether or not Israel is committing genocide in Gaza, an allegation Israel denies.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories.
All right, I'm back. So I'm just trying to figure out why everybody's still saying they're trying to figure out if it is genocide when innocent, when you look at what's going on with the kids, it's innocent kids and children being killed. I mean, it's women, it's children, and they have signs of it. So I'm just like, and you're constantly breaking all these war crimes when, every other country is being held accountable. They're being held heavily accountable for what they've done. Russia's held accountable. Everybody's held accountable. And I'm like, there has to be something. Accountability is very important, but obviously it doesn't swing both ways. So what I've heard through the grapevine, that the U.S. is trying to intervene in this because Bibi went and pretty much told our president better take care of this, and or our government better yet to take care of it, and they did. So let me see if I can find a report of ICC warrant U.S. So let me see. So let's see. It's too long. So let me see. Israel Prime Minister may get. Hold on. Let's look at this. This is long right here, but let's see. We're gonna have to have a long session tomorrow. Y'all enjoying this so far? I am. I know this is good. So it looks like the protest in New York is kind of settled down. It looked like it's gotten kind of quiet. They dodged a fast one, but I think it's gonna be more coming. It's gonna be more coming. So let's see. Yeah, Bibi is real scared right now. So let's look at a little bit of this, and then I am going to bed. Let's see.
All eyes are on the International Criminal Court. It's investigating Israel's actions in Gaza and the West Bank. And Israeli officials fear it's preparing to issue arrest warrants against the Prime Minister and other senior figures. So what would legal action mean for the country and its leaders? This is Inside Story. Hello there and welcome to the programme. I'm Nick Clark. So, Israel's Prime Minister says nobody will stop its military actions, not even the International Criminal Court. The ICC is investigating the country's operations in Gaza and the occupied West Bank and could issue warrants for the arrest of Benjamin Netanyahu and other Israeli leaders. He says such a move would be outrageous and set a dangerous precedent. And the Foreign Minister insists the country will not be deterred and will continue to fight. The court's prosecutor says anybody who breaks the law will be held accountable. But Israel is not part of the ICC and does not recognize its jurisdiction. Yet any warrants it issues could put its officials at risk of being arrested in other countries. So what does this mean for Netanyahu and his country? We'll put that to our guest shortly. But first, this report from Imogen Kimber.
Israeli officials fear the International Criminal Court may issue arrest warrants for senior members of government, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu may be on the list. Charges could be over alleged war crimes committed during Israel's ongoing war on Gaza. Emergency meetings have reportedly been held by the Prime Minister's office.
Under my leadership, Israel will never accept any attempt by the ICC to undermine its inherent rights of self-defense. While the ICC will not affect Israel's actions, it would set a dangerous precedent that threatens the soldiers and officials of all democracies fighting savage terrorism and wanton aggression.
The ICC is the only permanent international court that can prosecute individuals for crimes against humanity, including genocide. Palestine was admitted in 2015, but Israel is not a member and does not recognize its jurisdiction. However, many Israelis are looking to the court in The Hague for justice over the Israelis who were taken captive on October the 7th by Hamas.
Perpetrators should be held criminally accountable for the atrocity they committed. We trust that the ICC has the capacity to bring about justice for the hostages and their families. The visit of the prosecutor to Israel has reinforced our belief in the integrity and professionalism of the court.
International Criminal Court prosecutor Karim Khan says the attacks on October the 7th come under the court's jurisdiction and are part of his investigation into crimes allegedly committed in Gaza.
Laws of war must be respected. They can't be rendered hollow. They can't be interpreted so as to void them of meaning or to dilute or eviscerate any protective purpose that the Geneva Conventions and the law provides the most vulnerable children, women, people that are sick, or civilians. They must be interpreted with full protection.
The prosecutor has expressed deep concern over Israeli incursions and its bombing of Rafah, where around 1.5 million people are sheltering. Possible charges could include acts regarded as collective punishment, including the deliberate starvation of Palestinians in Gaza and the withholding of aid. Israel has faced numerous accusations of crimes against humanity by international lawyers and UN representatives. The state is also facing a case of genocide in the International Court of Justice brought by South Africa. For Netanyahu, an arrest warrant may not be of immediate concern, but it could impact his position internationally.
There's only one thing better.
Imogen Kimber, Al Jazeera for Inside Story.
First, we go to Israel, where the message is stay strong, survive. That's the message the parents of an American hostage are sending their son after Hamas released a video showing him alive.
As his parents plead for the release of all the hostages held by Hamas, anti-Israel protests continue to spread on U.S. college campuses. CBN's Chris Mitchell reports.
Protesters clashing with police at the University of Texas as officers move in, arresting dozens. At USC, nearly 100 demonstrators were taken into custody. As the protests spread to more college campuses across America, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu railed against the anti-Semitic and anti-American rioters.
Anti-Semitic mobs have taken over leading universities. They call for the annihilation of Israel. They attack Jewish students. They attack Jewish faculty. When you listen to them, it's also because they say
they are not saying annihilate Israel. They're saying stop killing, stop committing genocide. I've yet to hear a protester say, a college protester, we just showed a college protester showing how responsible they are. They're literally just saying stop the genocide. And then he spins a narrative as if they're saying destroy Israel. What did that guy from Colombia say? Because that's all we're trying to do is tell them to stop. So baby, if we would have been out there, everybody would have been called out. Oh, they would have been dragging us.
not only death to Israel, death to the Jews, but death to America. And this tells us that there's an anti-Semitic surge here that has terrible consequences.
Netanyahu added a warning about this exponential rise in anti-Semitism.
We have to stop anti-Semitism because anti-Semitism is the canary in the coal mine. It always precedes larger conflagrations that engulf the entire world.
Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and several colleagues came to witness the upheaval at Columbia. He called on Columbia's president to resign if she can't get the campus under control immediately.
As Speaker of the House, I am committing today that the Congress will not be silent as Jewish students are expected to run for their lives and stay home from their classes hiding in fear.
Johnson also threatened to stop federal funds to universities that don't create a safe environment for Jewish students. Dr. Michael Widlansky, an alumnus of Columbia and Middle East analyst, told CBN News his former campus reminds him of Germany in the 1930s.
It's Nazi Germany. It starts with delegitimizing somebody, trying to browbeat them into the ground.
Did y'all hear that? So your American right to protest, and they're protesting a cause where they're saying, stop genocide. That's what they're saying. It's now Nazi Germany. I'm like, wow. But come on, let's finish listening. Let's finish.
To scare them to staying in their holes, their huddles, their caves, so that they won't come out. It's the time that my father went through in Europe. His whole family was wiped out by Nazis. We know what Nazis can do. We know what this can lead to.
The protesters call Israel an apartheid state and accuse the government of committing genocide in Gaza for its war on Hamas after the terror group killed 1,200 Israelis on October 7th and still hold more than 100 hostages. Wednesday, Hamas released a propaganda video showing one of those still in captivity, American Hirsch Goldberg, Poland. In a video, his parents expressing relief to see their son alive and encouraging him to endure.
Hirsch, if you can hear this, we heard your voice today for the first time in 201 days. And if you can hear us, I am telling you, we are telling you, we love you, stay strong, survive.
Meanwhile, the UN is calling for an investigation into accusations of mass graves around Gaza hospitals that saw intense fighting recently. Israel released a statement that the claims are baseless. Hamas has also proposed a 5-year ceasefire if a two-state solution is implemented, but Israel steadfastly rejects the idea of a Palestinian state. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, I've said it before, and I just think I need to say it again. When you accuse Israel of being an apartheid state, of trying to commit genocide in Gaza, you have turned the truth onto its head. The only country in the Middle East where Christians are growing is Israel. The population of Christians in Israel is growing. The only place where it's safe.
Didn't they bomb a Palestinian Christian church? Didn't Israel bomb a I'm trying to see. I mean, Christians safe. I won't believers to be safe, but I mean, I definitely have heard that a Palestinian Christian church was bombed. I could have sworn I heard that. I definitely know. Hold on. So let's see what he is. Let's see. I want to share this. I'm going to share something. We'll go back to what he said after I play this. Now it says Israel bombs Greek Orthodox Gaza church, settling displaced people.
A frantic search through the rubble in the compound of one of the world's oldest churches. Hundreds of Palestinians displaced by the war had been sheltering there. They believed it was one of the last remaining places of safety from Israeli bombardment.
There were no weapons or anything in the church. Children are missing. We can't find them. We're still unable to find them. There are no Christians left. I was in the church, and all those who were in the church were Christians. Enough is enough. We are really tired.
The Church of St. Porphyrius has a history dating back 1,600 years. Located in Gaza's old city, it's only a couple of hundred meters away from Gaza's Baptist Hospital, which suffered a separate strike just days ago, killing hundreds.
I am a Christian in Gaza. You are impossible involved in Gaza. I am a Christian in Gaza and Muslim in Gaza.
In a statement, the Orthodox Patriarchate of Jerusalem condemned the strike, saying targeting churches and their institutions, along with the shelters they provide to protect innocent citizens, constitutes a war crime that can't be ignored. The Israeli military's not commented on the strike.
We've seen a history of the Israeli government, targeting mosques, targeting churches, and in the West Bank included. The Nativity Church in Bethlehem was attacked in 2002 during the second uprising.
The church itself has sustained damage, with the building next to it destroyed. Many of those sheltering there had fled northern Gaza after a warning by the Israeli military for residents to escape for their own safety. But this latest strike echoed a statement from the UN earlier this week that no place is safe in Gaza. Paul Ging, Al Jazeera.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news.
Okay, we're going to go back to the regular. And I'm wondering, too, what's going on with the the Demona bruise. I'm going to see if I can reach. I do know someone. And I'm going to look into it. But let's go back over what he just said.
In the Middle East, where Christians are growing, is Israel. The population of Christians in Israel is growing. The only place where it's safe to be Druze. You can be Muslim and walk the streets of Tel Aviv in perfect safety. Now, contrast that with Gaza before October 7th. If you were Jewish, you would be killed. If you're Jewish and you go to Ramallah, there's signs right outside the city that the IDF says, don't go here because we can't guarantee your safety. Go back to 1948 when Israel declared its independence. Suddenly, it became illegal to be Jewish and be in the Middle East. In Iraq, it was a capital crime to be Jewish. If you were discovered, you would be hung. What kind of apartheid state is that? You're not even allowed to exist. Now, the genocide is solely on the part of the Palestinians. When you hear the slogan from the river to the sea, what that means is Israel needs to.
Wait a minute. Who came up? Who said, hold on. I'm trying to see who said that first. I don't know. Anybody know who said? I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look that up. But this whole concept of Christian churches, like I say, but this is colonized Christianity. This is colonized evangelical Christian. I am so far away from dealing with them. I would say evangelicalism has now gotten so corrupt. I question who they believe in. So I already have a serious bone to pick with evangelicals, especially white evangelicals. It's just it makes no sense that it's literally like he said, it's fine for a genocide to happen. I don't care. Literally, that's what he's saying. So the blood is on his hands as well. I'm playing this because it's so interesting how you're hearing one. You see, I'm going back and forth, and I'm going back and forth for a reason. You're hearing them say something, and then you're seeing contradictions. You're hearing someone say something, and you're seeing the contradictions. And there's so many contradictions with just what this man said alone. It makes no sense. Oh, gosh. We're going to keep watching. And again, let me say this. I am not in agreement with anybody being hurt. I'm not in agreement with anybody being done anything to them. I do not. I say that let Yah be the decider. He is the one that is going to seek vengeance. He is going to be the one that destroys who he wants to destroy. He's going to be the one that separate the wheat from the tare, not us. And I stand firm in saying that we do not believe. I do not believe, and everybody I know do not believe in taking anything into our own hands. What our goal is as believers and followers of Yeshua and being for Israel is standing firm, praying to Yah, and letting Yah be the deliverer. Let him do it, not us. So before they try to spin a narrative, we like, if anyone is going to be a judge, is when Hamashiach comes back. When Hamashiach comes back, when Yeshua comes back, game changer. He makes the decision. He makes the decision. So let me make that clear, because saints, they love to say so. If they say it, next thing you know, they're going to be saying Jesus Christ is anti-Semitic or Yeshua is anti-Semitic. And I've heard some of them say that the New Testament is anti-Semitic. And I've seen rabbis debate that the New Testament is anti-Semitic. But I bet you they would call Christ anti-Semitic. And really, truly, yeah, that they'll call him an anti-Semite, an anti-Semitic. So I would love to see, I'm gonna leave that part. I'm gonna leave it right there. But again, we don't promote any form of hatred towards people, because again, Yah is the final judge. We hate white supremacy, and I leave it right there. Period. Oh man, Christ is the king. It's considered to be an anti-Semitic statement. I've heard that too. Hold on.
To be wiped off the map and every Jew killed. That's genocide. What is happening in Gaza today is entirely because of Hamas. They attacked Israel. Israel is defending itself. If you care,
I want to know what level of genocide has the Palestinian done, or even Hamas has done. You heard that bold statement. See, the thing is, folks are not asleep anymore. People used to fall for that. It's not working. They working overtime right now. They working some serious overtime. There's not enough work you can do. Not enough work.
care for the citizens of Gaza, if you care for the innocent children there, the entire pressure should be put on Hamas. Will you release all the hostages? Will you unconditionally surrender and lay down your arms? Will you allow peace to govern Gaza instead of this radical Muslim ideology that calls for the extermination of Jews? That's the reality, that's the truth, and that's what should be protested. And here in America,
I just feel, y'all, when I tell you the Most High, man, I don't feel sorry for him. Most High sitting on his throne listening to this. Man, he allowing people to say the stuff that they're saying right now. Oof. Dangerous place to be.
have we forgotten? There are American hostages in these tunnels. Let us please bring our people home. Everything.
Y'all have American hostages on this soil as well. They're called ADOS, Black Americans. We are hostages to this system. Yes, we work here. We live. But don't sit here and play like America. We are walking hostages. We are still captives. I would consider myself to still be some form of a captive of war, even though people are like, well, you're living good, you're eating good, you're doing this. But the atrocities that was done to my people have yet been addressed. They have yet talked about any form of reparation, any form of restitution for everything that they've done to our people. From the slave trade to redlining to Jim Crow to lynching to burning down places like Black Wall Street and all these different things. Yeah, y'all ain't. So y'all have some hostages here. Y'all have a bunch of them. And all of them have a stamp on them called American descendants of slaves.
Things should be dedicated to that.
And someone is going to say, how are you a hostage and you can run free? For real? I can run free as long as I buy into the system, and then it's really not a freedom. Because, again, you can see the difference in treatment, how they treat us in reference to, but, it's going to be some coons that's going to get out there and say, I don't feel it. Okay. All right.
Instead, we have the UN launching useless investigations accusing Israel of war crimes. Well, where's the investigation of Hamas? Where's the investigation of UNRWA, the UN relief agency that has been funding instruction in terrorism, had terrorists on their payroll? Where's that investigation?
They found out
Where's the investigation of our own State Department that was reinstated funding for UNRWA? Do we not understand that funding went into rockets and went into weapons so that Hamas could attack Israel? Let's put the truth back in place and stop this nonsense, because it is absolute nonsense. Well, later in the show, we're going to be speaking to a survivor of the October 7th attack.
He said, put truth in place. Yeah, that's what y'all is doing. Putting truth into place. He's like, let's get back. No, his truth, their truth. They want to get back to normal living. They want to get back to their truth. Did he have the audacity and the gall? Audacity to say that under the banner of Christ and don't realize, do these people realize Christ hear what they saying? Like, my goodness, really? I'm scared for you that you are not afraid of his wrath. Like, are they do they? If you are truly a believer, you can't tell me that you really thinking like this. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. Like, really? Really? I mean, have y'all gotten that arrogant that y'all just think that he is not sitting in the judgment seat, sitting there? He's judging. See, what they do is they build us a narrative of when Christ comes, it's gonna be happy lambs and happy children, and oh, it's just gonna be a wonderful day. Wrath. He's gonna lay his sword down and just wow. They said it's gonna be blood up to the horse's bridle. He not gonna play with these folks. But see, these folks are looking at rapture doctrine, baby. When everything go down and they don't get beamed up, Scotty, it's gonna be a scary day for them because you still have to deal with what you've done. They really, I mean, really, I'm like, are y'all psychos? Are they? I'm like, you sat here and had the audacity to say, let's set truth back in place. I'm like, what? Wait, hold on. Hold on. You spoke it and he giving you, Most High giving you truth. You're like, I'm giving you truth and I'm finna give you some more truth. He ain't finna play. He ain't done. I got a feeling this finna be a hot and heated and interesting summer. I'll say that. I got a feeling this summer is gonna be on and popping. It's gonna be so much going on this summer. I think this summer gonna be crazier than the summer of the super flu. Because you remember how crazy that summer was during the super flu. That summer was crazy. But this summer right here, I think it's finna go down. It's gonna break the record. This is gonna be a summer that none of us will ever forget. Because they setting the stage up. You got the protests going on right now. Not to mention you still got Russia-Ukraine war. Don't fall asleep on China and Taiwan. Don't fall asleep on that because that one is still there. Then you got Benjamin Netanyahu, who now has an ICC has put out a warrant for his arrest. They're working on it. I've heard. I was listening to some news reports that sometimes the U.S. is not fully being honest. So it seemed like each week it gets crazier. So week before last, Russia was bombing Ukraine. Then you got, it's so much going on right now. Y'all, it's so much going on right now. It's gonna go down in the books. It's gonna go down in the books. I say that much. We're gonna be talking about this summer for a good minute. It's different. Like it with the super flu, at least they can kind of control the numbers during those protests. For George Floyd, because people were sick and we were dealing with people were scared of getting sick. People were scared of getting the super flu, so it was less people out there. Man, there ain't no super flu holding them back now, unless they go in a lab and create one. I don't put nothing past them. Yeah, North Korea has been quiet, but yeah, that's it. Now, if we all of a sudden have another, if we have a super flu come out, I know some. I'm gonna be giving them the side eye. Some ain't right. Y'all did this. I'm looking at folks sideways, but this summer, nobody has got the super flu. These protests ain't gonna stop. It's not. And in the background, while the U.S. is fighting about this, Russia and Ukraine are yet still fighting it out. And I tell y'all, it's gonna be so much stuff going on this summer. This is why I'm trying to pace myself on these videos so I don't be on here for 5 hours and then some pop off the next day and I'm exhausted. Y'all, I'm just sitting back and watching. I ain't saying a word. I'm just gonna play videos. That's all I'm gonna do. I ain't gonna say a word. I'm just gonna play videos. And the thing is, you gotta always, you just gotta let it all just play out for the world to see. That's all. Because the truth is going to rise. Oh, the truth is going to rise. Wrong, right, or indifferent, the truth is going to surface, and it's going to show its ugly head. And I want to see what that looks like. I mean, now what? Ain't nothing you can do about it. Because if God is saying, or Yah is saying, let this be what it is, it's going to be that. Period. Period. Did y'all enjoy this conversation today? I'm getting ready to go to bed. It is. What time is it now? It's 12 o'clock. It's just going to be interesting. Like I said, that's why I've been telling people, be careful with what you say online. They watching everything, all of us. And they waiting for the first statement to say, aha. No. That's why it's good to put that disclaimer out there that I am not standing for anybody to be hurt or killed or any form of genocide. I'm not agreeing with that. I'm not agreeing with none of it. But while it's going on, we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to play it because that's all right. And people have a right to their thoughts and their opinions. Now, all of a sudden, it's a crime to protest. Now, it's all of a sudden anti-Semitic to say I'm not in agreement of the genocide of the Palestinian people, children and women. So that's anti-Semitic. I'm just so confused. People just play word games, word plays. I'm like, but who's being killed? It's the innocent. It's the children and women in Gaza. That's who being bombed. And now all of a sudden, that's anti-Semitic. That's gonna be interesting to see how all this stuff plays out. Yep, I'm getting ready to go to bed. I'm just gonna sit and watch and eat my popcorn and watch it with y'all. I'm gonna cut it on my box, and y'all will cut it online. And you watch on StreamYard. Before I close, let me check one more time to make sure ain't nothing popping off. I'm tired. Oh, I'm tired. I don't know. Well, it look like they just saying free Palestine. So I would say go out to YouTube and just keep watching it. It's interesting. I'm getting ready to go to bed, Saints. I'm sleepy. I thank y'all so much for joining me and participating in this live. Family, stay focused and stay vigilant. Stay focused and stay vigilant and just stay in prayer. That's all I gotta say. Be careful out here in these streets. Oh, that's Madison walking around. So, family, I'm going to bed. Much love. And I will talk to y'all later on this week. But just keep watching it, y'all, because if anything crazy pop off, I'm gonna come right back online, and y'all know that. So, but I'm gonna keep watching some of these videos. Here, just look up live events with the Columbia protest if you want to watch it. It's all on YouTube. It's not gonna be hard to find. All right, family. Y'all have a good one. Good night.